Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to replace the screen on this Lenovo Yoga 730-15IKB. Right, so if I remember correctly, we're going to need a T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver, as well as a PH1 or JIS1 screwdriver. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is remove all the screws from the bottom. Alright, you want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. So the way I do that is once I remove the screw, I put them flat side down like this on my desk in the pattern I remove them. And I'll just put them in rows. So here you can see 3, and then you got 3 here, and then you have 4 at the bottom. So that's how I keep track of them. Alright, if this video helps you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share my channel with others so that they can also learn how to upgrade and repair their devices. If it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. These are customer computers, so keep that in mind. I don't own these devices. So if you have questions, I'll try and answer them, but most likely if it requires me to have the computer, I'm not going to be able to help out with that. Alright, so anyways, let's go ahead and continue removing all these screws. Okay, so we got those, and we got the 4 down here. Let's go ahead and remove those. Okay, so this model is a little bit difficult to get this bottom cover off. If you're replacing the screen, you do need to remove the bottom cover so that you can disconnect the battery. If you try and replace the screen without disconnecting the battery, you can cause permanent damage to the motherboard, the screen, and sometimes even the screen cable. So keep that in mind. It's very risky to replace the screens without disconnecting the battery and then pressing and holding and draining the power from the board before working on it. So you want to avoid that if you can. Alright, so there we go. We got all those screws out. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to use a suction cup to try and pull this bottom cover off. Okay, so this one has little kind of clips that go underneath this back piece here. So what we're going to do, we're going to try and lift this up. Okay, you can see it's actually pretty tough. It's stuck on there pretty strong. Okay, so yeah, okay, this cover, we might not be able to get it out that way. Let's see here. So what I'm going to do, let's see if I can pop it up from this side here. I'm using my fingernails. You can use plastic pry tools, but I got my fingernail in the gap here, and then I pushed on the hinge to help pull it up, and as you can see, it kind of popped up a little. Then we're going to run our way along the side here, and let's see if we can pop up the clips here as well, and yes we can. Okay, again, you can use plastic pry tools for this. You don't have to use fingernails, but everybody has fingernails if you let them grow. So that's why I like to use fingernails, and it's also easier because you can kind of, as you can see, I use one to push down and then my other fingernails to lift this up. And as you can see, it makes it a lot easier to remove the cover. Okay, so just like that. And then after you remove all of those, this kind of like swings out to the side. All right, let's turn this around. So it might get caught a little bit. You kind of have to work it and wiggle it. You might have to help pull this up to get this piece out. So here are these little parts that are protruding that I was talking about earlier. I know it's not focusing. There we go. And that's why you have to kind of like slide it out a little bit. Alright, so there you go. Underneath here, I'm not going to take everything out because I just need to replace the screen, but there's a M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. If you don't know how to remove that, you can watch some of my other videos. Basically, there's one screw here, and then it pulls up slightly, and then you can kind of pull it back at an angle. It comes up at an angle. Right, you got the wireless card here. Same, you can see in my other videos how to remove that. The antennas, you pull them straight up from the tail. You got the LCD LVDS connector here. If you're gonna mess with this, make sure that you disconnect the battery first and then press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds or so. Right, you got the DC jack or charge port connector here. It is underneath the hinge, so you would have to take the hinge out before you can remove that. It looks like the hinge actually goes underneath the motherboard, which sucks, so that means you'd actually have to take the motherboard out to get the charge port out. Right, speaker connectors here, cable runs along, goes along the bottom of the battery and connects to the other speaker there. These kinds of connectors, you just grab the wings and you kind of just wiggle it to pull it out. Don't just try and yank it out. Right, you got the touchpad connector here, keyboard connector here, keyboard backlight connector here, and then you also have, what is this? There's no label on it. JFP1. Fingerprint? I don't know. Does this have a fingerprint sensor? Let's open it up and double check. Yes, it does. So this is most likely the fingerprint sensor connector. These have little latches that you kind of flip them up and then you can pull it out. I'm not going to flip them out because the only thing they have wrong with this computer is the screen, and I don't want to risk damaging anything else. You got the RAM slot cover here. To remove that, if you're going to do this without removing the battery, you want to be very careful. So I just get underneath with my fingernail and then kind of pull this metal cover up just like this on all four corners, and here you can see there's a slot for the RAM. I don't see any other slot here, so it looks like there's RAM that's soldered to the motherboard, but I don't see it. It could be also on the other side of the motherboard. Maybe the RAM is removable, but I kind of doubt it. If you want to check, you can check like eBay or something for the motherboard. The motherboard model number is right here, DLZP5 LA-F something. I don't know. It's underneath the underneath the heatsink. So I think it's F0, but I don't know. I think if you search this or just the Lenovo Yoga 730-15 IKB, you can probably find the motherboard that way. CPU is soldered to the motherboard, so you can't replace that, and there's no GPU. You can see on the motherboard they have the spot where they would normally have a GPU, but they don't have one. All right, two fans, same thing. This connector, you wiggle and pull it out. All right, and yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and disconnect the battery. Maybe I should have zoomed in more to show this a bit better, but anyways, we got the battery here. To remove the battery connector, you can kind of pull the extra battery slack out from the battery area here, so that way you have more room. And then what you want to do is grab as close as you can to the connector as possible, and then you kind of just wiggle this as you pull it, as like that, and there you go, the battery comes out. All right, let's go ahead and zoom back out. We're gonna now drain the power from the computer or the motherboard. Let's move that out of view. All right, so open up the computer now, and then press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds. Right, this will drain any residual power and will make it a lot safer to work on. Okay, so we're gonna hold it for a few more seconds. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're going to remove the screen. If you want, you can put the bottom cover back on to make it a little bit safer to work on, but it's not really that risky to do it because you can actually roll this all the way back and it will kind of protect itself. Okay, so anyways, here we go. We got the screen like this. Now we're going to have to remove these bottom pieces here. Let me see if I can zoom in to show this a bit better. These plastic pieces are pretty difficult to remove. I just use my fingernails to get underneath like this and then kind of wiggle it and it comes out. All right, so you can see that one came out pretty easily. We're gonna try on the other side. Sometimes they are pretty tricky, but get underneath closer to this side of the hinge and then you can kind of wiggle it and pull it out. I actually opened this before, so all right. Okay, then this bottom one in the middle is also a bit tricky. When I cut my fingernails, this is very difficult, and using plastic pry tools is actually also very difficult, but with my fingernails, it's actually easier. So we just get underneath here between the glass and the plastic piece, and you kind of have to wiggle and pull it a little bit. All right, it doesn't come out very easily. So we're gonna kind of pull this back a little. Let's see if we can get underneath here. And there we go. Once you get out one, it's a little bit easier to get the rest because you can kind of pull the whole plastic piece that way. And as you can see, this plastic piece comes out from underneath the glass. And once that comes out, you can kind of get the back out a lot easier. So just like that, I'm just running my fingernail along, pushing with my thumb to help pull it. And then we're getting this piece out. So here you can see. All right, there we go. And now we got this plastic piece out. All right, again, it's a lot harder with plastic tools and things like that. So yeah, some people bug me about having long fingernails, but it is what it is. I use them for my job and I don't care if it bothers you. All right, so anyways, let's go ahead and remove the two screws down here. So there's two PH1 or JIS1 screws here. We're gonna remove those. Oops, sorry, they're not PH1, they're PH0 or JIS0 screws. Okay, so we'll remove those two screws. All right, so on this one, normally there are plastic stretch release adhesives. So let me show you what that looks like. One of them actually broke trying to pull it out, but basically there's these adhesive strips that go underneath the computer, just like this, underneath the screen, just like this, okay? And what happens is they stick it down So what you have to do is you have to grab a hold of it and you kind of just pull it straight back like this. And as it stretches, I don't know if you can see, but as it stretches, the adhesive slowly releases itself. And that's how you release this adhesive, okay? So it's sandwiched between the screens. This adhesive isn't actually necessary to hold the screen in place, but it does make it hold a lot stronger. What it does do is it prevents you from taking the screen out. And the way you remove the screen is you actually have to slide the whole screen downwards, and then you can lift it out. But so let's see, as you can see, this, I'm trying to lift it and it's kind of still stuck there. They actually have some metal pieces that latch underneath. So let me actually get the replacement screen and show you what I mean. Okay, so they wrapped it in this plastic thingy, so let's just tear this open. Okay, I know this isn't part of the repair, but sometimes I keep it in the video just in case I open it and the screen is broken or something, and then I kind of have proof. All right, so there you go. It comes like that. They put some tape all around. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna cut it. All right, so I like to cut the middle one, and then I like to cut each side, but I leave one strip of tape along one of the longer ends. Okay, so just like that. All right, so now that we cut that open, you can see this side of tape stays in place, and then you can actually just open this up like that. Okay, they provide some adhesive in here, but we're not going to use that adhesive. Okay, let's go ahead and close that. Here we go. And we're going to open this. Okay, and we're going to take the screen out. Again, we're not going to use the adhesive here, so we're just going to leave that out. Let's go ahead and get the screen out here. Okay, and we'll set this aside. So let me show you now what I meant. I don't know if you can see those metal tabs at the top there. So those actually hold the screen into place. You don't actually need the adhesive to hold the screen into place, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and close this. I had someone on YouTube ask me, because I've done another laptop model that is built pretty much the same, and they were saying that the adhesive helps it, but I don't think so. So anyways, it's more of a way to make it so that you can't easily fix this. So this one actually had an issue pulling the adhesive. The adhesive just tore, so I don't know if there was a tear in the adhesive. Normally if you just pull it out slowly, it shouldn't tear, but on this one it tore, so we're gonna have an issue taking this screen out. What I'm gonna be doing, again, I showed an example with the adhesive that you just pull it straight back, but I believe the left side one tore. I don't remember. Let's go ahead and see if we can get underneath to see. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, the right side, the adhesive is gone, so I can kind of push this forward, but the left side, it's not. The adhesive is still in there, so we're gonna have to see how we can kind of pull this out. We might end up having to just completely destroy the screen, pulling it up and causing it to get all cracked, but we'll find out. Whoa, what was that? Okay, so let's try and pull this up. It doesn't seem to want to come out, so let's see here. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna come out. So usually if you want to preserve the screen, you can put something underneath to slowly just keep pulling on it, and eventually it will come out enough that you can get it. The reason now you can't just yank it is because this cable is here. So normally what you do is you slide this down. So normally once you get the adhesive out, because these metal tabs are here, you would actually slide the screen down and then you can rotate it up this direction. But again, because the adhesive under here tore, that's not possible anymore. So we're gonna have to slowly, carefully try and pull this out and be careful not to damage the cable here. Okay, so I'm gonna put it like that, and let's see here, how can we get a hold of this? If we're lucky, we might be able to reach the torn adhesive in there, and then we can pull it out. But yeah, so I'm gonna slowly work my way down the side here, pulling on it. I'm gonna actually get a popsicle stick here and just get that behind the glass, hopefully. And most likely we're gonna have to just work it really slowly, so I might not actually be able to even keep recording this part because it's gonna take too long. But yeah, we're gonna get a popsicle stick in back there, okay? And the LCD is here, so it makes it extra thick, so it's gonna be harder to do, but basically get a popsicle stick in there and it will slowly pull on it. I'm gonna try applying some heat to this to see if it will help. I don't think it will, but wouldn't hurt to try. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, I'm gonna get a heater and just slowly apply some heat to it, and then we will see. I'm probably gonna pause the video for now because that's just gonna be a very long, tedious process. And then if it works, I will come back and show you the results. But anyways, I'm gonna start heating this now, and yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. Hopefully I will be able to get this out. All right, bye. All right, so after a bit of patience and time, I'm able to actually see where the adhesive is down there. I don't know if you can see the, let's see if I can show it. So you can actually see, there you go, you can see the white adhesive in there. So I'm gonna try and use some needle nose pliers to grab that and then see if I can continue pulling the adhesive out. So right now the screen is pretty much most likely completely dead because it is kind of getting bent weird. Let me see if I can put it this way so you can kind of see. So here you can see how that screen, I mean, the screen was already broken. So anyways, let's see about getting this adhesive out. There's not much room to grab in there, so okay, I can't do it with that. Let's try it with the tweezers, maybe it'll work better. But basically what I'm doing is I'm slowly moving the popsicle stick down so that it continues pulling the screen further and further. And let's see if we can get this now. Nope. Okay, I'm going to try with the needle nose pliers over here. And I got a piece, but I don't know if it will tear. Let's try and pull it. Okay, good. It's coming out. So here you can see, now we can hopefully grab this adhesive and stretch it straight down. So again, as you pull it straight back, it seems like it's working. So as you pull it straight back, it releases the adhesive, and that's what we're doing. So I'm just going to keep pulling this adhesive out. All right, it's working now. Perfect. So we just keep pulling this adhesive. I'm going to grab closer here and continue pulling it. And the popsicle stick now fell out because it's released most of the way. So we're just going to keep pulling this adhesive out. Get that popsicle stick out of the way. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to grab closer to the adhesive and we're just going to keep pulling this slowly. And there we go. So hopefully all that adhesive is out now. And let's go ahead and see if we can remove the screen. Okay, that took a lot longer than expected, but hopefully we got there. Here you can see the screen actually moved down. That's what we want. Let's actually zoom out. Okay. So normally the screen would be slid up here, all right? And then these screws prevent it from kind of coming out from the bottom, and then the hooks prevent it from coming out the top. So once you get that, you can actually lift this slightly, okay? And then once you get on both sides, you can actually slide it down like that, and then you can see we can actually flip the screen forward. And as you can see, it's attached here. So some of the adhesive actually, see, this is why it tore. It was peeling or separating, so I think because it was so old, the layers weren't holding well. There we go. And again, you don't need to replace the adhesive there. You can put some new adhesive if you want, but it's not necessary. Okay, so I'm not going to put that. Let's go ahead and flip this over so it's easier for you guys to see. I'm going to again flip the screen back this way. Okay, so here you can see how the screen is attached. It helps to actually open the laptop and then work on it with this leaning against the thing, but I'm going to hold it like this. You can also get a box or something to put underneath here just to hold this up. Okay, let's see here if the replacement screen has the digitizer. I don't remember. So, okay. So the replacement screen already has the digitizer built in. That's the touchscreen thing. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we just gotta disconnect all of these cables and separate it. So we're gonna get underneath here. I might have to use the plastic tool. Okay, so we're gonna use this. Let me actually zoom in a bit so you guys can see better. Okay, let's see if I can get this out for you guys in camera. Okay, so I'm using this little plastic tool just to get underneath here. Here you can see there's a little piece there, so I'm going to grab there. Alright, and peel that up. Okay, so we're peeling this up. Once you get that peeled up past this connector, we can go ahead and get this out. I'm going to use my fingernail to push from one corner and then the other corner, and there you go, it came out. Okay, now we need to get this cable out. So this is also pretty tough to get out, but you just got to peel this out. Okay, I have a plastic razor blade that I sometimes use to help get this out, but it looks like I was able to get it out, not too difficult. Okay, sometimes it's a lot more difficult to remove this. Alright, so there we go, we got that. Now we're going to flip this latch just like that. Now that we got that latch flipped up, we're going to grab the two bottom edges of this clip and then use that to help pull the connector out, just like that. Sorry, I know my hand was kind of in the way, but there we go. We got the old screen out. I'm going to set that aside, and now let's get the new screen and put that into place. So basically, just do everything in reverse. Get the connector here, line it up, and then once you get that all lined up, make sure it goes underneath the corner edges of this connector. Sometimes it's difficult to get that in properly. There we go. And then we're going to use the plastic tab to help pull that into place. Try and get it to go in straight. You don't want to do it at an angle. Like right now it's going at a weird angle. You want to make sure it goes in straight, so both sides go in at the same time, just like this. Okay. And then if you want, you can use these little latches to grab there and help pull it into place. Make sure that it's nice and tight. Make sure it's completely in, and then you can flip that latch over. Alright, so this latch will clip into place and it should hold itself down. Then you can go ahead and put this adhesive back over the top. Right, now the touchscreen connector. If you don't plug this in, the touchscreen won't work. If you don't care about the touchscreen, then you can just leave this disconnected. Some people don't like touchscreens, so alright, so just get that lined up and then pull that into place as well. Okay. Alright, this is kind of tough to do with it like this. I should have actually unfolded the screen, or the screen and the keyboard to make it easier. But I'm going to pinch the two pieces together. I know it's hard to see in camera, but hopefully you get the idea. Okay. And it looks like it's connected all the way. I'm going to pinch it a little bit more just to be sure. Okay, looks good. Let's go ahead and put this back down. Okay, and let's zoom out. Alright, now we got this screen in. We're going to flip this back forward. Okay, turn this back around. Oops, let's zoom in a bit. Okay, so to get this in, basically same thing. We're going to lift up the back here, pull it back so that it's behind here, and then we're going to slide this up. Okay, slide that up into place. If you want, you can use a suction cup or some tape to help slide this. Okay, I don't know why this side is kind of not resting completely flat. That's kind of weird. Let me see on the original one. Okay, so it looks like that. Everything looks right. Actually, the plastic here is a bit thicker. I hope it's gonna fit right. I don't know, it feels like it's hitting something here. Well, okay, let's flip this so I can see better. Alright, then we're going to slide this up so that these metal clips go into place. Okay, it's not going in for some reason. Let's see, is everything lined up right? Okay. It looks right, so I don't know. Maybe what's going on here? Oh, it's a little bit too high. Okay, so I'm gonna have to tilt this screen up slightly more to get those clips in. Maybe they got bent in shipping, so I might have to push them in downwards a little bit, but okay, it's going up. This last clip is not going in all the way, so I might have to push it down. There we go. Alright, so that clip was a little bit bent. Okay, so now we got everything into place. Okay, I don't know why, but these are sticking up more than they should be. So I think the design is something with this, the plastic bezel or frame that they put here is not right. This piece is hitting here. Oh, I see, it pops in for some reason. They changed the design on this? Something is weird here. Okay, well, it pops in. So I guess this, I have to kind of like pull this forward a little and then it pops in. And it looks like the plastic here is a little bit too long, so it's not quite reaching right here either. So I have to kind of push it down into place, and now it's kind of staying. Okay, that's kind of weird. I might end up shaving that plastic down. We'll see. Okay, so let's go ahead now and get the 2 screws in here. Okay, I'm going to switch back to the PH0 or JS0 screwdriver. And we'll get these 2 screws in down here. That one in. And we'll get this one in. Alright, now let's go ahead and open this up, and we're just going to plug the battery back in so that we can make sure everything is working. So get the battery connector, line it up. Okay, make sure you get it to go in straight, and then pinch the 2 pieces together just like that, and then tuck the excess cable back in. Alright, so now we're going to push the power button and see if it powers up. I'm going to leave it folded back like this. Okay, and push the power button. The power button is lighting up. I don't know if you can see that. So let's see. And there we go. The Lenovo screen is on, and we should be good to go. So hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe. Okay, it is responding to the touchscreen. I don't know why it's so dim though. I'm going to have to adjust the brightness. It might be because of this is blocking the light. So let's actually peel this off now. We should be okay. Okay. Actually, it's still staying dim, so let's see if I can adjust the brightness here. I don't know why it's so dim. Sometimes what you have to do is you have to actually restart the computer. So I'm going to do a restart with the regular menu here. Huh. Touchscreen stopped working now. Let me... Mouse there? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to restart it one time, because sometimes it doesn't work properly until you restart it. So let's make sure restarting it will work. Okay. So the computer is restarting. Okay, now you can see the Lenovo's lit up. It's spinning around. Hopefully this brightness will stay like that once it boots up completely. And then I have to get these little plastic clips back in. So again, I don't know why there's this excess plastic here that's kind of a little bit too long. Nope, it's still dim. Let's see if I can adjust the brightness from the keyboard. Okay, so keyboard worked to adjust the brightness. And as you can see, we should be good to go. So I'm going to shut this computer down, and we're going to put the bottom cover and everything back in. Huh. I don't know why it's not letting me press on that corner for the shutdown. Oh, there we go. Okay. So it's taking a while, but now the shutdown actually worked. It's doing something. For some reason it's blinking. Well, all right, let's get this cover back on. Hopefully everything is good. Okay, so to put the bottom cover, you have to, again, get this piece in. So it helps to kind of work on it upside down. So I'm going to put it slightly at an angle like this. And we're going to get one side in first. And then we're going to slowly swing it over. Make sure those little pieces get underneath. All right, and then we can go ahead and clip the sides and edges into place. All right, so there we go. We can now put back the T5 or Torx 5 screws, and after that we're going to go ahead and put those little plastic covers back in. So let's go ahead and get all these screws back in. All right, there's 4 at the bottom here. Okay, you're welcome to fast forward through this part because, yeah, I'm basically just going to be putting these screws back in. Anyways, if this video helped you, make sure, again, to like, subscribe, and share my channel with others so that they can also learn how to upgrade or repair their devices. If it helped you save a bunch of money, again, please consider contributing a little to my channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. These are customer computers, so I don't own these devices. These are computers that my customers, I actually do a computer repair business, so that's how I have all these computers that I can make videos of. Which is why I don't take apart the computers completely, because the customers bring them in for a specific repair, and if I mess up some other component, I don't want that to be like yeah, that'll get me in trouble, especially when customers expect their computers back within the same day or so. Usually when I do repairs, I get them done same day, minus the time it takes to get parts. So usually I'll try and order parts in advance if I can, but other than that, I usually will get the computers repaired within a day. Okay, so anyways, almost done with the screws, the last one, and then we're going to get back those plastic little pieces. Okay, so there we go, all the screws are in. Let's go ahead and flip this back over and put back those plastic pieces. I'm going to open the screen all the way. Okay, so we can put this big bar first. I don't know if it's going to be easy for you guys to understand how this works, but it's easiest to get the top part in. So you put it at an angle like this. Once you get all of those in, you can actually click these pieces down. Okay, so just like this. Okay, make sure all those clips stay in place, and then you're going to click the backs down. All right, and there we go. So now that's in. This glass is actually a little bit thicker, so now I can actually feel the edge there, but hopefully that won't be an issue. Okay, so let's go ahead now and get this one. Again, this piece is sticking up a bit, so I'm going to push it in and then get it down. All right, below the hinge piece there. Okay, and then we're going to get this into place. Okay, I'm pushing this side down first and then get that, and as you can see, it clipped in just fine. All right, and now we're going to get the last piece here. This side's already in place. Get that down and then click that, and there we go. We are good to go. Looks like the computer is ready, so let's flip this back up, make sure it powers on one more time, and we're good to go. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, let's drop this. Bye.